Notice how he said quick? Sometimes they're not as quick as Kyle would want them to be. Yeah, hey, just obviously we're in a really exciting time for myself personally, but more importantly for these players. It's been a long, grueling, challenging off season. I give a lot of credit to Coach Stallworth, Coach Consiglio, Coach Holland, Coach Antonio. They've done an outstanding job with our players from a strength and conditioning standpoint, and to Brian Schneider's done a great job getting some players back to health, and really excited about where our team's at right now. But even more than that, I'm just so excited for football. If there's one thing that I've learned about this roster at WKU and what we inherited, if you will, is that these players just love when the football's out there, and anything that has to do with playing the game of football and competing is when you see the lights go on, like unlike many teams I've had a chance to be a part of. And so spring ball for us is going to be a time for a lot of different things. We want to accomplish multiple facets from a program standpoint. I think number one is we want to really have a chance to get out there and continue to cultivate that love of football, of playing the game, and then that love of competing. And that's not going to be a huge challenge with the type of players that we have. This team is very fun to be around, and the relationships that we've built have been pretty significant already in a short period of time. The other part is that we're going to be implementing new schemes, and we want to do a great job of teaching. And we've had an opportunity over the course of the last really 5-6 weeks to integrate some meeting time, some film study as part of our off-season program. So it's not going to be rolling out the ball and brand new schemes. The first time they're hearing about them is tomorrow. There's been a lot of meeting time. There's been some class on the grass, out on the field, if you will, walkthroughs without a football, of course. And then there's been a lot of individual coaching on the field, individual conditioning that has a bit more of a football element, but with a definite conditioning standpoint of what we're trying to accomplish. And then I think the last part is we've gotten to know these players from their personality standpoint, gotten to know them very well academically. We've gotten to know how well they do mat drills and can change directions and run conditioning tests. But what we really want to have a chance now to get to know them as is truly football players. And one trap that I've fallen into a lot over the years is that you'll fall in love or fall out of love with players in the off season because they might be particularly really good at cone drills or particularly really good in mat drills, but when you roll out the ball, they're not great players. And so I've been very aware of that. Made that mistake many times in the past to oversell a player, and then you throw the ball out there and it's a completely different story. On the flip side of that, there's guys that might struggle a little bit in the off season, and then you roll the football out there and the lights come on and it's like something that you've never seen before. So it's another opportunity for a blank slate for these players to really write their resume, to write their script for what they do on the football field. And we're going to start Thursday. We'll continue on Friday, and then we'll have a chance to teach, correct the film, and then come back next Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and basically rinse, repeat for the next 4 weeks leading up to the spring game week.
Any comment on the off-the-field incident that happened?
Yeah, obviously the incident that happened on campus here several weeks ago now, it was an unfortunate incident, and nothing that myself takes lightly or that this football program takes lightly. We've learned from that mistake. It was a great opportunity to educate our team and to teach our team. It was a teachable moment. We've handled discipline internally, and we feel very good about how we've handled that situation. Certainly with the communication with Todd Stewart. And we've also cooperated with the ongoing investigation. And really at this time, that's pretty much the extent of it. However, I do think that we want to conduct ourselves in a way that makes this university proud. And every single day, we understand the responsibility of wearing around this awesome logo with that red towel on it. And we continue to strive to be a great representative of that, and we will continue to do so.
Was that frustrating given all of the positive things you guys have been doing?
Yeah.
That kind of blew up like it did.
Yeah, I think it's something that certainly I'm not new to in this day and age of social media. I've grown up really kind of surrounding the social media explosion, certainly something that I've had a chance to see at different programs. And one thing that you want to always be cognizant of is, all the great things that we've done. Sometimes you'll take 100 steps forward, and something like this happens, and you take some steps back. And that's what we had a chance to talk about as a team, is that the guys that are in this room that I've had the privilege of getting to know over the course of the last 2 months, 3 months now, that was not representative of who the men in this room are, and that's what we want to continue to do, is be a great ambassador, not only for this university, for this football program, but also for the families that we come from, and we take that as a great responsibility.
Have there been any roster changes in the last month or so?
Yeah, no roster changes. The addition of we had a walk-on tryout. So the addition of 2 players, but nothing of any type of significance in terms of omission of players.
Mike, unlike most of the people in this room, I've never seen Leon Allen play, so I think you and I are similar there. Just what do you think of him, how he's doing, and just what have others told you about his potential and skills?
Well, I think the situation with Leon is very similar to where it was when we first talked about him here a couple months ago. The number one goal for Leon is to get this degree from Western Kentucky University, and to finish what he started on the football field as well. Excuse me. I think the ongoing challenge with Leon is always the continued full rehabilitation of his knee, but we've seen some very positive progress made throughout the course of seeing change of direction. But it's been a situation where there's a couple steps that are taken forward and maybe a step taken back. And that's to be expected with the significance of his injury. He himself is one of the strongest human beings that I literally have ever been around. I mean, you shake that young man's hand, you call out uncle right away. I mean, he's got that type of grip strength. It's unbelievable. Throughout the course of the pursuit workouts that we did in the morning, I was just watching him essentially casually on the tug of war, just walking back anybody you put in front of him. It was unbelievable. And so I felt like we needed to kind of shift gears, and I blew the whistle, called the whole team up around the towel, and I said, "Hey, Leon, come out here." And I looked over at the defense. I said, "Is there anybody on the defensive line that can beat Leon in a tug of war?" And sure enough, he won again. So he's doing a good job, and we have his full. We're supporting him towards his goals of getting his degree and towards being back on the field and contributing. And we believe that he will. We're working hard to make sure that he will.
Mike, can I ask one follow-up on that?
Yes.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I can sense that in the short time here, you're really fond of him personally. So anything he does football is a bonus. What you're concerned about, your concern is strictly for him off the field. It just sounds like you genuinely like him.
Yeah, and I think that the stuff that he was doing on the football field several years back, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. A lot of Western Kentucky fans that have been around the program for multiple years haven't seen an athlete do some of the stuff that he did on the field. So, to me, it's challenging, and it's disappointing to think that there's even a thought of him not having a chance to return to that football field. So the football side of it, to me, is extremely important for Leon to end his career, end what he started well. But our number one goal as a program is to graduate every single player that comes through this program, and that's something that we talk about a lot, but we don't just say it and move on. We mean it. And that's a great example right there with all that Leon's gone through on the field, injury-wise, off the field. We want to set up Leon and everybody else on this roster to be very successful when football does expire.
How much do you expect him to be able to participate in spring ball?
He's going to be cleared to practice from a physical standpoint, from a medical standpoint. In terms of durability and making different types of true football movements, that's going to be seen. But if you're looking at the pursuit as a microcosm of the morning workouts, if you will, as a microcosm of football practice, you're going to probably look at maybe 2 practice days and 1 off to give different parts of his lower half extremities chance to recover.
I wanted to ask you too about TJ call. Were you expecting to lose him at all? And then now that he is somewhere else, how much of an opportunity is that for some of the younger guys to fill that void?
Yeah, I had a chance to really speak very briefly to TJ. It would appear that was already certainly in the works before I had a chance to build a relationship with TJ. He hadn't returned to campus, of course, so had never met him outside of being at the Boca Bowl or addressing the team the day I was hired. Nothing that really surprised me. It didn't catch me off guard whatsoever. And I feel really good about the linebacker core that we have returning. I'm really excited to see Iggy play, of course. His offseason has been absolutely dominant. I mean, if you guys, if everybody had the chance to see his before and after profile picture that Coach Stallworth does with each member of our football team, you'd be pretty astonished. And it was already pretty impressive before. Masai White has had an unbelievable offseason and has bought into to everything that we're demanding from a physical and mental standpoint, and look forward to seeing him play. Ben Holt. Been very impressed with Ben Holt and all that he's done, in every area of his life. Very, very excited to watch him play. He's got a look in his eyes of a guy that just cannot wait to get the football back out there on the field and start knocking some pads around a little bit. And in that group, I feel really good about that group. I had a chance to sit in on a position meeting with Maurice Crum, our linebacker coach, running that meeting, and I couldn't tell you how impressed I was with just that whole group and the way that Coach Crum's teaching that group. They're in outstanding hands to be a young group. One of the best teachers of the game that I've been exposed to just from sitting in different meeting rooms. We do, yeah. There's it's really exciting group of receivers because there's a lot of different skill sets. This offense that we run, I think it really does. It's tailor-made for a variety of skill sets and be able to put the right people in the right positions to be successful. A lot of offensive systems will just line the same guys up in the same exact places, and they may or may not be running the routes that correspond to what they do. This offense really allows you to tailor-make it around what the skill sets of those players are. But I think the number one task at hand for the receiver position is to learn where to line up within the structure of what we're doing offensively and to play full speed and execute. And that's not going to happen day one. I'll be perfectly honest. It's going to be an ongoing process. And having been around some really good receivers over the course of my career, and even as a child and watching my dad coach receivers at USC, that's never going to be a spring ball day one, well-oiled machine. It's going to take some time to get that synergy built up. But Mike White and Drew Eccles and Steve Duncan have done a great job of organizing throwing sessions. So they've been running our schemes without any coaches around. And from what we've heard from Mike, he's very encouraged with the progress that they've made.
How the leader has Mike been since the chance you got to work with him?
He's been really good, and I think the number one thing that Mike did is he bought into the body transformation that Coach Stallworth was really selling to him, and the one thing that we talked about was if you looked at last year's draft at the quarterback position, if you're just talking about the quarterback position in general, Jared Goff was the number one pick in the draft, was not built as durably, and had not been exposed to the training that a Dak Prescott had been exposed to. Well, the guy that was on that was having a chance to work as an assistant strength coach at Mississippi State with Dak Prescott was Thomas Stallworth, and you can see this game is not even at the quarterback position. It's not for for the underdeveloped. When you play it at the highest level, you need to be durable. You need to be rock solid. You need to do a great job in the weight room. And Mike's done an unbelievable job. He was one of our all-star performers in the weight room in terms of body transformation from from the end of January till a week ago. So he's bought into that because quite honestly, the football side of it, as a leader, it comes so naturally to him. It's been really the off-season transformation that I've been so impressed with, and buying into training like the different players on our team, and being asked to move weight, and being asked to condition like the rest of the players on the team. And I'm very, very happy about his progress, and I'm very happy about the progress of Drew Eccles and Steve Duncan as well. I feel like those are three guys that, from an effort and attitude and buy-in standpoint, have really been leaders on this football team.
You lost some notable talent on the offensive line. Just kind of talk about what you're expecting for that.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a chance to watch Forrest Lamp do some O-line drills out there on my way back into the office, and yeah, we're losing a pretty good one there. I mean it when I say it. I don't think you're going to be able to find a more versatile, overall offensive lineman in this draft class than Forrest Lamp. He reminds me a lot of when I left Notre Dame. I was Zach Martin was coming out the year before I got to Notre Dame, and watched a lot of film of him, and just to see a guy that's a 6'4"-ish type guy that could play all 5 positions, that's a tough loss to fill. I mean, and the Dallas Cowboys are certainly appreciative of the fact that he could play all 5 positions, and I think Forrest has that type of versatility, and will continue to show that. So that group is it's young, it's inexperienced. The one thing that we're going to try to get out of spring ball is identify our 7 or 8 guys in that group that we feel like we can win with. We're not trying to come out of spring ball and say that, this is our left tackle, solidified, no doubt. This is our left guard, this is our center, this is our right guard, this is our right tackle. We want to identify, the guys that are potential guard, tackle, swing guys, or tackle swing guys, could play right or left, and then certainly the guys that are center guard swing guys. And then we'll watch that gel together, because a lot of it's personality based, and then some of it's just being able to execute a job better maybe at center than you could at guard. You might be a better back blocker from the center position, and you can handle the intellect of playing center than you can pull as a guard, or come off a double team on the zone schemes. So we want to see those guys compete. Coach Dart's doing a very nice job of identifying their skill sets, working with them in the off season from a schematic standpoint, and now it's just about really, hey, it's an open competition. Outside of Dennis Edwards and Brandon Ray and Jimmy Sims, there's not and Tyler Camp, there's not a ton of experience in that group, but there's a lot of guys that are willing competitors, and some really good young players that we're excited to watch. The Miles Pates, the Seth Jost, the Tyler Witts, the Jordan Meredith. Those are guys that we're looking forward to learning more about on the football field.
Coach, you mentioned those early workouts pretty early in the morning. Do you think that set the tone for the program the way that you wanted to, and took some necessary steps toward bonding and camaraderie? Yeah,
I think so. I think our theme really from the very beginning has been the pursuit, and that embodies, to me, those morning workouts embody what we're trying to accomplish. That the goals that we've laid out for this program, the 5 goals, are not going to be even remotely easy to attain, and so you have to sacrifice, and that's getting up a little bit earlier, working a little bit harder than you ever have before, and I feel like we've accomplished that with the pursuit morning workouts, but I also do think that the next step is to apply all that great work that we put in and transforming bodies, and now having a chance to put football behind it, and have all that really kind of tie in together. And that's the exciting thing about spring ball, and why I'm so excited is to see all the work that they put in, and now try to really get the football side of things exactly where we need it to be coming out of spring, which won't be perfect. We know that there's new schemes, but we want that to really tie in, and there's been some really good bonding moments. Pouring rain. That was that Tuesday. Honestly, coming off the incident that occurred on Sunday night, it was one of those moments that it was almost out of a movie set, to be honest, where there's some adversity, major adversity, self-inflicted, and our guys bonded together. And they banded together as brothers that said, we're gonna work through this. We're gonna work in spite of all that's going on, and that was our best day. It was our best day. It was our day where I felt like there was a moment where our team really decided to come together with all these new coaches, which has been new for them. So it's been fun to watch that transformation of all of us coming together, because this team certainly knows how to play together. They've done that before, but now it's with everybody that is a new face. Seeing everybody work together, it's been fun to do.
How did that incident work? Any other? I mean, are you going to have any suspensions for spring practice, or is everyone ready to go?
You know, that's to be honest, I mean, that's kind of it's an internal matter. You guys will all have a chance to be at practice. You know, so it's not going to be. There might be some that might be obvious, and there might be some that are there because of class misses. Because they have class conflicts, and there might be some that have rehab that they have to work with. So I wouldn't read too much into to who's out there, from a practice standpoint. But I will say it is an ongoing matter. So we haven't made any determination, and the reason we did that is because we wanted to cooperate with the process. That is certainly something that is above us, if you will.
For what you've learned up through your winter practice time, are there still any question marks for you going into spring ball that glare to you, but not necessarily glare to fans or anybody else watching?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the. I think just how they're going to respond. One thing for me personally as a head coach is even practice itself will be formatted wildly different than what they're used to. And you don't have a chance to really walk through a full practice because it'd be an NCAA violation. But we're gonna meet on it, talk through it. I want to see unbelievable enthusiasm and energy, even though there's going to be times where they have no idea where the heck they're going. Honestly, because they're used to transitioning from one drill to the next. They know where it's supposed to be. There's going to be times where there's going to be a lot of guys running around with, like chickens with their heads cut off. So I just want to see that even amongst that uncertainty and amongst that change, that the love of football and their attitude and their effort and their enthusiasm never diminishes. The other thing I'm really excited about is what we're doing special teams wise. We're going to have today we're going to draft 4 teams within special teams drills, and what we want to emphasize from a special teams standpoint is more drill work throughout spring ball. We're not going to basically just line up and kick off, or just line up and work kickoff return. We're going to use skill sets that are involved in multiple special teams units. And so we're going to divide up the teams. We're going to have a draft today. Divide up into 4 teams, and we're going to have some fun with that competition. And our special teams unit's going to be called the Wild Bunch. So we're excited to incorporate an old kind of Western type of a mantra into what we're doing from a special teams standpoint, and watch what happens with this special teams draft and the competition that plays out. So when you're out there at practice and it might get a little rowdy, or there might be some preconceived celebrations, we're having some fun with special teams, because like I said at my press conference, I mean it. It's going to be an honor to play special teams. It's a privilege, and we're going to play our best players on the special teams units.
Mike, I haven't talked to you publicly. Obviously, I saw you at Coach Gilbert's visitation. Kind of a 2-part thing. I was really touched by the number of players who paid their respects on social media, whether current or former. And the other part is, have you decided on any way to perhaps honor Coach Gilbert this spring, or perhaps in the fall?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, we certainly lost a great hilltopper, but we gained a better one to look over us from above. And Coach G, even in 1 year of getting to know him really well, impacted me, picked me up. At times where I might have been down. I was a first-time quarterback coach, pass game coordinator, involved in play calling and weathering the storm of the transition from 1AA to 1A. And Coach G, he always picked me up. Always picked me up by handing me one of my favorite discs of cinnamon discs or butterscotch discs. And I really did appreciate Coach G even back then, and he made an impact on me just because he was such a great coach, such a great member of this community and this program. But then the neat thing that really had a chance to transpire was, it was just a couple weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks before he passed away. Johnny Vance had a chance to bring him up, former great here at Western Kentucky, baseball and football. Had a chance to bring him up into my office, and I had no idea it'd be the last time I see him. And we spent a good hour and a half together just talking. And he brought a 2014 Western Kentucky media guide, and just wanted to give it to me, which was kind of neat. And the reason he wanted to give it to me is he wanted to show me all the letter winners in the history of the Western Kentucky football program. And just right then and there, it came over me that I should have Coach G sign where his name is as a letter winner here at WKU. So he signed that right then and there, and Johnny Vance signed it right then and there, and really every single player that has been a letter winner that comes through our program, I want them all to sign that book. That's the Coach G book. In addition to that, I want to do something to honor him on our helmet, but in the fall. So we'll be looking into doing something. We'll keep you posted on that, and it'll be something that'll be very special and very specific to Coach G and his lasting legacy on our football program.
Coach, I know that you talked about your goals continuously in your press conference. I know one of those goals is winning the conference championship. How exciting is it to have the opportunity starting this spring to go into the fall of having the opportunity to win a third conference championship in a row?
Well, the thing that's exciting about it is that this is a really good conference. It's really competitive. As everybody knows, it's one of the most explosive offensive conferences in all of college football. So the challenges are right there in front of us. And just to remind our players of what we're working towards, in our very last pursuit workout that we did, they had no idea what was about to happen. We met up in the locker room, changed our cleats into gym shoes, and we ran up to the foundation of this entire program. We ran up to the original football stadium at the top of the hill, and we ran 14 bleacher sets, upper decks, if you will, at the site where Coach G played. The greats that came before us played, and for every single rep that we ran, our players, they yelled out the name of our opponent, 1 through 14. And obviously that 13th game, if there's a 14th behind it, that's the conference championship. But you can't get to that 13th game with the 14th behind it if you don't take care of business 1 through 12. And we wanted to dedicate, each one of our upper decks to our opponents. That not that we feel superior to them whatsoever, but just to acknowledge it's going to take tremendous work for us to beat these teams. And we're going to take it 1 week at a time. And I'll be honest, I can't wait for the Eastern Kentucky game. I'm fired up about that. Certainly it'll be our staff's first time coaching the Hilltoppers. My first opportunity to be a head football coach, which is to me it's a very small storyline. But more importantly, it'll be a chance to play against a great opponent that's been very, very good at the FCS level. And we're going to take it 1 week at a time. I'll be honest, I had to pull out my phone and see who we play week 2 and week 3, because all I'm thinking about is Eastern Kentucky. You got it to be relevant. We got to find a way to beat EKU, and that's how we're going to approach it. It's going to be a 1 week at a time endeavor, and we're gonna continue to pursue each and every opponent.
When you got hired, I thought you hit it off with a lot of returning players, but I really thought Marcus Ward would be a guy that you'd get on the same wavelength right away. Has that happened? And if so, how is he doing, and how important is he on that defensive side of the ball this spring?
Yeah, unbelievable that Marcus Ward, even though the injury did happen, he actually was our all-star transformer, body transformation guy for the safety position. He looks unbelievable, and to do that to your body without full, complete range of motion, to engage in the off-season program wholeheartedly, it's a tremendous credit to him individually. It's also a tremendous credit to Brian Schneider and Thomas Stallworth. But for him to be such a significant leader without really, quote-unquote, being in the trenches yet, and fully participating in every bit of what we're doing conditioning-wise, that speaks volumes to who he is. And he just, we have our breakfast check every morning, 7 to 8:30 over at Fresh Foods, and he's always a guy that I look forward to going down and sitting down with and having an omelet with and just talking about life. And the thing that's been encouraging, there's been a lot of different guys like that we've been able to develop really strong relationships with. And Marcus he's a special young man. When I got hired and I was at the Boca Raton Bowl and trying to learn 100 names right off the bat, you know, President Ransdell did mention Marcus as just a really unique young man, and I've had a chance to see that. Great ambassador for this program, and really the kind of guy that you'd want, you know, leading your defensive unit.
Coach, thank you.